Alright, so today we're going to take a look at using some parametric constraints and how to add those and work with them, as well as how to fully constrain sketches before you say finish the sketch, hitting that green check mark. So to get started, we're going to open up Inventor. Instead of clicking new part here, we're going to click new up in the top left and make sure we choose metric standard millimeters and hit create. Click OK through the error message. We're going to start a 2D sketch on the XY plane. Okay. And the constraints that I'm talking about are up here. Up until now we've used the dimension tool, which is still a constraint, but we're going to start looking at using some of these other ones to help us accomplish tasks a little bit easier when we get into tricky situations. So let's start by drawing some circles. First circle, we're going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to draw a 60 millimeter diameter circle. I'm going to draw a second circle, again on the y-axis being 0, that is 10 millimeters in diameter. Grab the dimension tool, we're going to dimension from center to center. Be careful you don't select the actual dimension because we're not trying to change the size. There we go, pull that down, we're going to be 48 millimeters apart. We're going to grab the circle tool again come out on the y-axis and click. Draw a circle that's 40 millimeters in diameter, and inside of that 20 millimeters in diameter. And we'll dimension those again from the same center point of the original circle to the center point of these, and they'll be 96 millimeters apart. Next, we're going to take our line tool, snap up here at the top, X0, draw a horizontal line that is 60 millimeters long. Do the same here on the bottom. Hit escape, line tool, come to the top of this circle here that's 40 millimeters in diameter and draw a line back until it passes the 60 millimeter line. We'll do that on the top and the bottom. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to draw an arc that has a 15 radius of 15 right here. To do that, I'm going to do it by drawing a circle that's 30 millimeters in diameter. Then what I'm going to do is snap this tangentially to this line. To do that, I'm going to do a couple things up here in the constraint section. First, I'm going to fix this whole assembly in place by clicking on it. Alright, see how it turned purple? So that is now constrained. Next, I'm going to grab the tangent constraint feature and snap the circle to the line. I'm going to hit escape and grab the center of this circle. Now if you pull it, you'll notice you can only move it left and right, you can't move it up and down. I'm going to pull it until it intersects with the 60 millimeter line. Okay, grab my trim tool, I'm going to trim off the top of this circle. I'm going to use one last constraint here, the coincidence constraint, and snap from the end point of the arc to the end point of that 60 millimeter long line. Grab the trim tool, I'm going to trim this piece of line away. I'm going to repeat the same thing here on the bottom. 30 millimeter diameter circle. Snap it. Tangent constraint here. Hit escape, grab the center point, drag it past the 60 millimeter line. Trim it. Use the coincidence constraint again, go from endpoint to endpoint. Then we'll trim it. While we're trimming, we need to trim the inner part of this circle away and this circle right here. And lastly, it says we need one dimension here. And when it says we need one dimension and we're not sure where to place it, we can use the auto dimension constraint tool. And when we hit apply, you can see that it applied a dimension here from this line down to the center point of the circle of 20 millimeters. Now I can hit done. You can see that everything is fully constrained because one, the lines are all purple, plus it says fully constrained down here in the corner. So we're going to go ahead and finish the sketch. I'm going to extrude this 10 millimeters. Hit OK. I'm going to create another sketch just to finish this off. Draw a circle that is from the origin here and is 30 millimeters in diameter. I'll say finish sketch. Extrude that 5 additional millimeters. And lastly, we're going to put a hole through the whole thing here So I'm going to choose the placement type concentric, click the circle, click the reference edge of the circle, make the size 20 millimeters, make sure it goes through all, hit apply, cancel. Then we are finished. So that is a quick look at how to use some of the constraint tools instead of just using the dimension feature in Autodesk Inventor. Make sure you save this and try the practice problems.